Fingerstyle Thursday. Hi there. Today we're going to talk about two main things. The first one is what I consider Christopher Davis Shannon's main catchphrase: chords aren't real. Now, Chris does some fantastic videos over on YouTube on this subject, and I'll be talking a little bit about that today as well. But it's a really good idea, and it's all about sort of how musicians perceive things. So it's quite cool. It just is proof that nothing is real. The other thing we want to talk about is the time signature 12/8. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, which is a compound time signature because it doesn't do what it says on the tin. We assume we count to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't do that. We have 12 eighth notes in a bar, but they're divided and counted into little threes. So actually we have to count them. Basically, it feels like 4, 4, but in triplets. So Sammy, what the hell do you mean by that? Okay, so a triplet is basically when we have a collection of 3 notes that fit into the space of where 2 notes should usually be. So a good way to count triplets is always 1 triplet, okay? Or 1, 2, 3, 1 and a. Whatever, basically you just need the first main beat at the start. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Those would be eighth note triplets because you can fit 3 eighth notes, 1 triplet, into the space of 1 and where there's usually 2 eighth notes instead. That's what triplets do. Now 12/8 is basically 4, 4, but with a triplet feel underneath it. So we end up going 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. And if we do some maths on that, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Oh my God, that adds up to 12. So that's actually 12 notes. So there's no counting to 12 here. We're just counting everything as 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet. So the right hand pattern that I've created for you today is a little bit of a shit, but it's really fun. So it evens itself out there. Right, first of all, let's just practice with this chord, which is an F sus2. So basically, if you take an F chord, flip me off, thanks mate. So then you've got an F add 9, and then if you put ring finger on that C there, we have a nice F sus2 chord. Now on that kid, remember, so basically this pattern is spread across, feels like 2 beats. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, whichever one helps you remember it. So the first thing we're going to do is pinch 4 and 1 on the beat of 1. And we're going to say 1, 2, 3 to ourselves. 1, 2, 3. Now when you say 3, what I want you to do is pluck the 3rd string. That's helpful. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Got it? So that's actually our first beat done. 1, 2, 3. Then for our second beat, 2, 2, 3, or 2 triplet, however you want to count it. It's 3 notes, basically. We're going to pluck 2, 1, 4. And again, in my fingerstyle, that will be index, middle, thumb. So that will be 2, 2, 3, or 2 triplet. So we have our 1, 2, 3. So that's again, pinch, 1 and 4, and then 3rd string. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pinch, 3, 2, 1, 4. Pinch, 3, 2, 1, 4. That is actually the right hand pattern for the whole thing going on. So we just want to practice doing that. Pinch, 3, 2, 1, 4. And then we start to get on a roll. Pinch, 3, 2, 1, 4. Pinch, 3, 2, 1, 4. So that fella's quite a hard one to count because technically we're going 1 triplet, 1 triplet, 1 triplet, 1 triplet. Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Whichever, again, it doesn't matter how you count it, you've just got to try and get your ears to understand it. That's the biggest thing. So try and get that on a loop, first of all, just on the F sus2. Because, like I said, the whole piece is going to revolve around that. Now, where the left hand is going, basically, this little shape here, I want you to move it up 2 frets. And then I want you to move it up 2 more frets. And then I want you to move it up 3 frets. And then I want you to move it up 2 frets. Those are all the places that we're going to be diving around on the fretboard. So first of all, just get comfortable with moving that shape up and down. So as an exercise, just warm up both hands. We're going to basically follow that, and I'd play one set of that pattern, so which is 6 notes in total. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So play one of those, then move up, then move up, then move up, then move up. So we're 1st fret, 3rd fret, 3 and 5, 5 and 7, 8 and 10, 10 and 12, and let's go 8, 10, 5, 7, 3, 5, 1, 3. Just to get used to the rhythm, and mainly just making sure our left hand is comfortable going all those. Sometimes if you want to just concentrate on the left hand, actually just strumming it is a really good idea, because then your hand doesn't have to focus on the intense picking pattern on your right hand. Now, the reason the Christopher David Shannon chords aren't real conversation is coming up is because I've called each one of these chords an F chord. Just each one has like a different extension. Some are F major 9, some are F6 sus2, some are F sus2, etc. So first of all, you're like, hang on, Sammy, what do you mean you've called them F chords? Aren't they all F chords? Sort of. I want them to be F chords, which sounds even more confusing, right? Our first chord that we're looking at, the F sus2, that consists of the notes G, C, F, and C. F, G, and C makes an F sus2 chord. Now, when we go to the 5th fret, I'm calling that an F major 9. An F major 9 chord has an F, A, C, E, and a G note in it. That is an F major 9. This chord has all of those notes except for an F. Hang on, Sammy. How can that chord be called... We'll start with an F if it doesn't actually include an F. Isn't that like, it sort of needs that, right? No. And this is the crazy thing, okay? And it's because of the larger context of it, okay? I started on an F chord, and so I want that idea of the F chord to go forward. And again, I keep saying this idea. It means that if I orchestrated this bigger, if I had a bass player with me, I would want them to continually play an F note under each chord. If I called this chord what it sort of looks like, C, E, G, A, it could be a C6 chord. C, E, G, E, that's a C6 chord, as we know from that. But that means the bass player would play a C underneath it. And I don't want him to play a C underneath it. I want him to make it an F chord and play an F underneath it. And when I say bass player, this could also be, left-hand piano as well. So this is it. So it's, even though my big F major 9 chord does not have an F under it, I still consider it an F major 9. And like I said, that's really up to the composer themselves, okay? So I can do this because it's my idea. But different musicians have different ideas of what different chords are, and it's all to do with context. That's the great thing about music. You can have the same amount of notes displayed, but it might be a different chord depending on the context of the piece as to what the composer and the other musicians are playing. So that's the whole chords don't exist thing, because it could be anything. It doesn't have an F, but it's still an F chord. So that's really what's going on around. So they all have crazy names. But again, that's because I'm thinking of the bigger picture and I want them all to be an F chord underneath. Right, anyway, back to our finger picking pattern. So if we stick to this F sus2, we said that the pattern here we had was that pinch 3, 2, 1, 4. Now the second time you can do that, you can do exactly the same thing. Pinch 3, 2, 1, 4, pinch 3, 2, 1, 4. But the second time, when we pinch, you're going to pull off with that ring finger on the first string, so it plucks out an open note. And that then, what we started with, we were going 1, 2, 3. So the pull-off creates the 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So then that pull off fills in the gap despite our right hand doing no extra work. So the pattern goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pinch, 3, 2, 1, 4, pinch, pull off, 3, 2, 1, 4. So we're always going to go on the pattern that basically we play this pinch, pull off, and then we're going to move to 2 more chords that won't use the pull-offs. So we start with our F sus2, then we're going to come up here to the 5th fret and 7. So we're still going to play the same thing, no pull-offs there, and then we're going to move down to 3 and 5 here. So the left hand never, never, never changes shape, okay? And again, I'm counting that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the next chord we need to come to is actually, it's a G6. That ring finger is never going to leave that 1st fret, so we're going to play it with the 2nd fret, top string, and then middle finger on the 3rd string. So we should have 0, 2, 0, 2. And that is G6. Again, in this context, it is G6. You might know there's a different chord. So we're going to use the same pull-off pattern that we used for the first bar. So we're going to go pinch, 3, 2, 1, 4, pinch, pull-off, 3, 2, 1, 4. And again, that pull-off is on the 1st string, so we're still using our ring finger to pull off to open. After that, I'm going to leave that ring finger off. I'm going to play my pattern again. Pinch, 3, 2, 1, 4. Then I'm going to put my ring finger back onto the 2nd fret. Pinch, 3, 2, 1, 4. So with a pull-off included, pinch, pinch. So we always go from this F bar to this little G bar here, okay? Here, 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 and then there. So we need to spend some time getting that idea down, because actually the only difference then going forward in the piece is just basically where these extensions of the F chord live. So our first 4 bars, we end up here on the F sus2, up to 3 and 5, then down to your G6. And that is going to be the theme for everything. Like I said, just on the Fs, we're going to change. So next, we go back to our F sus2. But this time, we're going to go up to 8 and 10. And then down to 5 and 7. And then back to our G6. And then shockingly, we're going to do all the same thing again, but just change where the F extensions live. So the next one's quite a jump, because we're back to F sus2. Then we have to come all the way up to 10 and 12. So that is quite a jump, but remember, your fingers are still in the same shape. So it's basically just getting used to moving that shape up there. Your fingers never have to leave the fretboard, okay? There's no point taking them away and then trying to reapply them. Keep them both there. Just take a little bit of pressure off the strings so you can move, but just don't take your fingers off the strings. Just so you can get used to that movement. If you find it a struggle, little exercises like this just sort of improve your accuracy. They're boring as shit, but they're really good for you. I enjoy them, that's why, that's the problem. Anyway, we're up to our 10 and 12, and then we go back to our 5 and 7. So we're here, and then 5, 7, and then back to our G as normal. So if I just play that run slowly, so we go from the F sus2, up to 10, 12, 5 and 7, then G6, and then for the final run, we're going to go back to F sus2, and we're basically going to play what we did originally. So we'll go 5 and 7, and then 3, 5. And then we're going to finish just with a nice slow strum on that G6. There we go. So a lot of those movements are a little bit all over the fretboard, but like I said, keeping the same finger pattern makes it a little bit easier for us. Also, the right hand pattern, just practice it solidly on one chord because it's much easier to get the muscle memory without trying to work out what's going on the left hand and your eyes chasing it all over. Cool, and that's Fingerstyle Thursday number 55 done. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, then please consider liking the video and even subscribing. I do this literally every week. So every week there's a brand new fingerstyle exercise and piece that's written by me. So if you want to get your fingerstyle game up, it's probably a good idea. I also have the playlists for the previous 54 on YouTube, so you can go through those. They're all completely free. I do upload the PDFs and MP3s and slow down MP3s to Patreon every single Thursday. So look out for that. But also I teach theory lessons and technique lessons on Patreon every month, as well as tabs for all of my covers. So it's, you know, good thing to spend your pocket money on. Anyway, have a good day. Hope this treats you well. Love you. Goodbye.